Today we're going to take a deep dive into everything that's happened over the past week. The Diablo 30th anniversary celebrations, developer interviews, and also that leaked Warlock gameplay from IGN. Let's get into it. Hi everyone. Before we start, I have to apologize for the misinformation in my previous video. There's no blood something happening, it's the Warlock. Right after the video went live, a ton of data mined info flooded out, and you guys really roasted me in the comments for being completely off the mark. So I'm definitely eating humble pie on this one. So, the main star of the Diablo 30th anniversary event was the Warlock class, which is coming in the new expansion. The Warlock uses the power of hell itself against it to become an unstoppable wielder of demonic magic, someone even Mephisto himself should fear. This summoner of satanic sigils and swarms of sinful spawn has many distinct builds. Because of them, it's less likely that when fighting the Lord of Hatred, you'll end up in a party with identical demon summoners. We'll have to wait until March 5th for a detailed technical breakdown, but in the second half of this video, we'll get to that leaked Warlock gameplay. From IGN, we'll look at the spells, gameplay, builds, and what it actually looks like. The developers mentioned they're still working on it, so this might not be the final version. Next, we're looking at the new region, Scovos. It's a mountainous landscape in an ancient/classical style where we'll encounter new monsters and the city of Themis. Blizzard claims they designed Themis as the ideal endgame hub, where all the vendors and services are close together, so you don't waste time running back and forth after the campaign. Well, we'll see how that holds up in practice. But what really interests us are the war plans. It works like a playlist. You select up to 5 activities like Helltides, the Pit, or Nightmare Dungeons into one block and just go. It's supposed to ensure a seamless flow without constantly clicking through menus. Plus, each activity has its own progression tree. It strongly reminds me of the Atlas passive tree from PoE2. Players unlock modifiers here that change monster density, reward types, or bring mechanics from elsewhere into the activity, like Bloodseeker ambushes from Helltides and so on. You can see progression up to level 10, but the question is, what then? What happens when I max out that level 10? We don't know yet, but it looks like it's going to be a total blast. For example, if you're running Duriel, maybe Astaroth or Andariel will just jump you in the middle of it. Why not? I'm down! Another new feature is Echoing Hatred. It's a wave-based mode with infinite difficulty, but you need a rare ticket for it, a Trace of Echoes, which drops as random loot. There are random enemies, and in the later stages, they'll throw several bosses at you at once. Rewards scale according to the number of waves survived. Personally, I think they could have just beefed up the existing Infernal Hordes with this mechanic, and it would have been the same. But what do I know? I'm about as much of a professional prognosticator as a pro skier is a car mechanic, so I'll just keep my mouth shut. And a little Easter egg. In the Echoing Hatred preview, you could see that we're getting Torment 5 difficulty. The developers mentioned in an interview that Torment 6 might be coming too. Now, for the most important part, the total overhaul of the skill tree. I'll stop here for a second. Blizzard really put the work in, you have to give them that. Skills no longer have a max of 5 points, but 12. Each spell has 3 main modifiers that change its functionality, plus 4 passives. General passives that just boringly increased numbers were removed from the skill tree. Those bonuses moved to legendary items, or the Paragon system. The goal is for every investment in the tree to be an interesting decision that changes the playstyle. This also means we can look forward to a reworked Paragon board with interesting passives. Will it be enough? Well, we know people, nothing is ever enough for anyone. But it looks a lot better than what we have now. The Talisman. This looks like the final version of seasonal powers that will stay in the game permanently. We have a new interface for the Talisman where you insert charms. These have their own rarity and can form sets for additional bonuses. In the center of the Talisman is a slot for a seal. This also has its own rarity and can be tempered, allowing you to further modify set bonuses or even combine benefits from several different sets at once. Charms can be part of sets. If you put multiple pieces from the same set into the Talisman, you unlock unique set bonuses. For example, a druid can have bears as active companions. I liked the seasonal powers, so I'm all in on this. Finally, we also have the Horadric cube, a proper endgame crafting system. It's a bit reminiscent of competing ARPGs, but there's nothing wrong with that. It allows you to combine rare materials to craft specific equipment, add new properties to existing items, or upgrade blue magic items to a higher tier. It sounds, at the very least, very interesting for that final min-maxing. As a surprise relaxing element, a fishing minigame right in the environment of Sanctuary was confirmed. And finally, a loot filter, a native system directly in the game. You set what you want to see on the ground based on stats and affixes, and the rest disappears. I hope they make it like in Last Epic, so the gray items and the rest of the junk aren't visible at all. That would be beautiful. Look, overall it looks pretty good, but I have to say, there were a few things I really felt were missing. First thing, the stash. Why on earth didn't they add those awesome stackable tabs like in Diablo 2? In D2, people will have their runes and gems neatly organized. And what are we going to do in D4? Maybe the Horadric cube is supposed to make up for the inventory space. But still, we just need proper specialized tabs like PoE or Last Epoch have. For me, this is a missed opportunity. Another thing that completely passed me by is the Citadel, the main selling point of Vessel of Hatred, and they basically didn't breathe a word about it in this update. I don't understand how they could leave this mechanic completely aside when it was supposed to be the main endgame pillar. If they set it up right, it could be really interesting, but this way, there's just a big question mark hanging over it. And as for pets, I expected them to add at least some basic settings, some option where I can choose exactly what the pet should pick up and what it should leave lying there. This way, it's still just a half-baked helper. A few days ago, a Warlock gameplay video appeared, posted by IGN, but immediately after, it disappeared along with all the materials related to it. But people downloaded it, and now it's circulating through groups and Reddit, so we're going to break it down together. This summoner of satanic sigils and swarms of sinful beings offers many different builds, making it an interesting choice for different types of players. This significantly reduces the chance that you'll meet identical demon summoners in a party when it comes to the clash with the Lord of Hatred. It'll be fascinating to see what crazy combinations the community eventually comes up with. Combined with the new Scovos region, the reworked endgame, and a ton of adjustments to the skill trees and loot, this finale to Mephisto's story feels truly epic so far. Just like last year's Spiritborn, the Warlock seems to have a bit more build variety than the classes from the original Diablo IV. Unlike the Sorcerer, who relies on long-range elemental spells, the Warlock also offers a version that turns the character into an aggressive melee monster, jumping between enemies. Another option is a pure summoning style, where minions fight for him, which is much closer to the Necromancer's mechanics. Regardless of the chosen path, the vibe of hellish powers remains, whether it's foul rituals or controlling enemies like meat puppets. Since these options can be combined, there's potential to create a versatile warrior, though it might happen that such a jack-of-all-trades won't exactly excel at anything. That doesn't change the fact that this variability is an invitation to experiment. One of the most interesting builds seen in the previews is called Legion. It focuses on summoning demons who help in battle, and whose death subsequently serves to deal further damage. In this version of the Warlock, practically every attack utilizes hellish minions, including basic strikes that shoot exploding fallen lunatics at enemies. The ultimate ability of this build then allows you to summon a massive demon named the Fiend of Abaddon, who clears everything nearby with a gigantic sword. In these previews, the Warlock feels like a much more aggressive version of the minion-based archetype than what we're used to with the Necromancer. For those who find summoning too passive, there's the Vanguard build. Instead of summoning, it focuses on transforming the hero himself into a twisted, hellish creature. This variant includes unleashing fire and lava, such as the ability to summon a demonic head breathing flames. Another ability causes a chain reaction of explosions upon enemy death. However, the main attraction here is Metamorphosis. This ultimate ability directly transforms the character into a demon and replaces the existing skill bar with a completely new set of temporary melee abilities. This style will undoubtedly require practice, as the complete change of skills during the demonic form might be confusing at first, but mechanically it looks very fresh. Another distinct style is the Ritualist. This one focuses on creating sigils that affect map areas, with status effects or cause demon explosions. In the gameplay, we could see the opening of rifts in the ground, using totems to bind enemies or cursing areas that make the hero invisible after killing an enemy. Constantly placing traps basically makes it impossible for enemies to even get close to the character. The ultimate ability of this build summons a gigantic sigil across almost the entire screen, which gradually clears the entire area. It's already clear that this style feels very powerful and different from anything in Diablo IV so far. The last variant presented was the Mastermind Warlock, focused on mobility, stealth, and applying many negative effects. It feels like a rogue version of the Warlock. Lots of ranged attacks, dodges, and invisibility, traded for lower character durability. His ultimate ability summons a swarm of hellish bugs that devour everything on the map. This style requires more finesse than straightforward brute force, but the DPS, damage per second, potential looks incredible, according to the footage. From the available information, it's clear that the system will also allow for combining favorite abilities into custom setups. The atmosphere of using hell against itself is very strong in this class. Besides the Warlock itself, the interview revealed new systems, such as reworked skill trees that place more emphasis on skill modification than passive bonuses. The changes in the skill tree look like one of the most important adjustments. Removing boring nodes that only increased numbers gives room for more interesting decision-making. For example, you can change a fire hydra to an ice one, or, in the case of the Warlock, transform a defensive wall of demons into an offensive group. It's clear that the developers want to focus on making the skill tree truly change the way the game is played. Either way, the Warlock looks like a very sophisticated class that will bring a healthy dose of chaos to the game. To sum it up, the updates look great on paper, but we know Blizzard. They tend to be cautious, and things rarely turn out exactly as promised the first time around.
Oh, good. Yes. Fucking let's go. Oh, who's the one?
What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments if the Warlock appeals to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.